Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Take a Seat, episode 6. Number 6. So I'm back here with my boy Farhan Khaled. We've actually done an episode before. We did an episode in Starbucks, which is on Collective.
Collective Connect. I guess you can add all the links after this for people. We'll come to it, but Collective Connect's my podcast.
But so we've done an episode before. I met Farhan about, what was it, probably about a month ago? Something
about
like that?
A month ago.
Yeah.
But I bumped into you randomly on the street.
And it's been an interesting one, bro. We've spoken a lot on Instagram, and there's just so much we have to talk about today. So before I begin, bro, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, bro.
And it'd be good to introduce yourself. So take it away, bro. Just introduce.
So my name is Farhan Khaled, as you already know now. I'm a creative person, but I'm also a strategist. My main specialism is probably in advertising and marketing. And the idea I have is, how can you use that for the good? How can you use business models to create something positive? So hence why I started my podcast, which is part of a larger community where it's also a creative agency. So we actually set projects within our community for people to actually work on. So the idea behind it is we're a platform for young people aged 18 to 24, or a bit older if you want to be. And we just work on projects which matter, partner with companies, and that's the startup, that's the vision. I'm in uni at the moment, so I currently study advertising and marketing, and living in London.
Smashing it, bro.
Yeah, trying to, man.
London must be a very hard city to live in as well, because there's so much. It can be quite a lonely place, I'm guessing.
It's lonely, but when you find your people, it does make it a bit more enjoyable. I think the thing I like about London compared to, let's say, living in Cardiff, I love Cardiff because when you come down, you see people people tend to be a lot more friendlier, and it's just a lot more relaxing.
How are you affording rent, bro?
At the moment, I actually live at home with my mum, so saving money. Thank you, mum.
Yeah, shouts to the mumsy.
That's it, man. Shout out, mumsy, man. Mother's Day. Got you some flowers. So
nice, bro.
Probably send another bundle after this.
Roses,
man.
Nice.
Red roses, man.
That's the best way.
That's it, man. Got to play it safe.
Nice red roses.
That's it, man. So living in London. Living in London is quite cool. There's a lot of opportunities. You meet a lot of people. But I think the thing about living in London is you got to know why you're there.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same for... I think you got to know why you're...
What, you think a lot of people just chuck themselves into London and they think, yes, I'm in a big city now, I'm just going to do my thing, and then you sort of, you become a small fish in a very big pond.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I do see that as being partly the truth. I think a lot of the times when people do stuff like that as well, the problem that you get is that these people go there thinking that they're going to do something, but then realise how tough it is unless you have a direction. But the thing is, if you know what you want to do in a city like London, it's like manifesting, I guess. Like, the opportunities do come up in front of you.
Do you believe manifestation is in...
Yeah, I believe in it. It's not necessarily I believe in it, but I believe in it. Like, what I believe is that when we have something called reticular activation system, and it's like part of like who we are as like our brains, how we work and how our mind works. And when you put a focus on something, you basically deter everything out which is irrelevant. So right now we're in this room, right, and there's so many things around us, but we don't even pay attention to most of it. The only thing I'm paying attention to is the conversation we're having and me looking at you. And it's like, if I want to be an advertising creative, everything I look around is going to be kind of related to that. If I want to find a girlfriend, I'm going to be looking at girls who I think match my criteria. The thing is, we have to set our own criteria for what it is we want. And then when we go out in the world, everything becomes relevant. But if you go into a city like London, let's say on the basis of trying to find a job, and you don't have that kind of, you don't have your RAS, your activation system, or not activation system, but you don't know basically.
You don't have your focus, basically.
You just don't have your focus. Yeah, that's it, man. So it's just.
Well, focus is so difficult to find sometimes as well for certain people. I'm lucky I found it young. You seem like you found your focus young as well.
Yeah, I got to thank my family to a lot of that, putting me in work since I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, my upbringing was quite bouncy, up and down, a lot of crazy shit happened, but obviously I think everything happens for you. It's made me a lot stronger person. I think I have a higher tolerance to high pressure situations now, which I don't like to talk about myself in that sense, because it's a bit weird talking about yourself, because then...
In what way do you mean by that?
Like, the thing is, when I talk about myself, like, I like being positive, but I don't believe there is such thing as me. And I think, like, the idea that, like, you... Like, I think there is you. You are someone.
Do you mean that in terms of, like... What do you mean that by it?
Like, I think a lot of the times we create these narratives and these types of people.
Like your personality, like, yo, that's me. Like, this is my personality.
Yeah, and sometimes you stick to it so much it almost becomes archetypical. It's like you're a movie character almost, which is fine. Like, not to say that someone's I got a personality. Like, I know I'm different to other people. We're all unique in our own ways. That's totally cool. But I think when you play on something so much, you stop being yourself. And it's like, I'd rather feel into who I am and actually be who I am on like the deepest level I can find. But then not being content with who I am, knowing I can always improve. But I get like, you know, you can be whatever you want.
This is me learning as well in all fitness, bro, 100%.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I've had a mad day.
Tell me, man. What happened?
Oh, bro, just the busiest day. Like, literally, like, certain situations, like staff, business, and sometimes, like, you know, you have your ups and downs, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Wow, what a day.
How do you find running the business since you started it?
Do you know what, bro? I absolutely love it, but, you know, I do have days where I'm just like, whoa, it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? I think the last time you met me, I was like my first weekend, so I was just like, yes, I'm gassed. I've done my first business.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, you know, this struggle, but like I say, you know, I think, or what I believe is with hardship comes ease.
With hardship comes ease. Yeah, there was. I've heard this before. People who want to live an easy life are actually going to have a very hard life. But people who want to actually have they want to put themselves through challenge, they'll have an easy life. And I don't think it's necessarily like. I think the idea some people may take from that, they may take it from a very like materialistic perspective. They may think, oh, well, if I work really hard, everything around me is going to be great. I'm going to have a great house, great this, which is great.
It doesn't work like that though.
But I think it's more like
there's always a hidden like everyone's got their own trials. There's always like you could be having like the most amazing time, and then someone will just take you. Then I think it's how you react to a certain situation. So, like I said, I don't really, you know, I don't believe in like, you know, something bad will happen or something will come up or something will annoy me. But I tend not to react to certain situations in a lot of ways as some people do. I tend to just try and think of the positive more than anything.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Situation I'm in.
No, exactly, man. Bro, you're in a very good situation, man. You got to say alhamdulillah, man. You got to keep thanking God, man. I think the idea of God in general is an idea which society shouldn't let go, and I think letting go the idea of God is dangerous, man. In the long run, I think we start losing sense of something, which we start losing the idea of a better self.
I think it's like fear as well. You don't fear anything, so anything goes.
Yeah, and really, I don't think you should fear anything because fear's good. I think push into fear.
I think it's fear in being a bad person.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. That's a big one. That is a really big one, and that's like
nobody fears that anymore.
No. I mean, that's probably one of the most fundamental things. It's like when
nobody actually genuinely cares about anybody.
No, like, but I would actually argue against that. Like, I would say the reason why a lot of people are the way they are is because we're put into this world not knowing anything, and we have to figure out how to adjust and how to like be social and get on within the world and actually be a good team player and actually like live a good life. Only because there's other people. Like, if there was not other people, you could do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
there are other people, so in a sense, it's like we're always comparing ourselves against someone else, in a sense. And how was our relationship developing? And I guess like meaning can be found in developing good relationships with people and having a good relationship with the world around you, because that way everything just tends to flow. But I think a lot of the times, like we have something called the dominance hierarchy, and it's definitely among men for sure. And I think girls select guys off the dominance hierarchy without us consciously processing.
So what do you mean by that? So like, sort of like how they come across.
So Jordan Peterson, he's a clinical psychologist from the University of Canada, Toronto. Sorry, what was you saying? I didn't really get what you just said. You asked me something.
What in terms of the dominance effect?
Yeah.
So basically, is that sort of like women tend to choose like alpha males then?
Yeah, I don't really like the idea. I like the idea. I mean, I don't like the idea. I think
an alpha male.
It's just like it's like, bro. It's like
because you find the most alpha men are normally the most like self-conscious.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And like, definitely, they always question their thinking and never put into like one line of thinking. I think as well.
They're easily led sometimes. Well, no, not in terms of like.
I think it's clarity of direction, man. Well, I think when you really know what you want to go and you have a strong vision and you're willing to like take on the challenge and go into the world, then like people will tend to follow, because people usually don't have that for themselves. So when they see someone with it, they'll just follow because it's something to do. Oh, that makes sense.
Mad, you know? Yeah, that sounds true.
You know, and I like and I encourage people. I really do, man. Whoever's listening to this right now, figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And like you don't think leaders are like these. So I think the alpha male stereotype is the guy who's really big, strong, got a deep voice, and everyone follows him, and he'll kill the lion with a spear, which is probably true to a certain extent. But I mean, in reality, I think people follow strong people with very strong visions who are willing to go out there and do it. Take like, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg for Facebook, right? Not that I'm saying Facebook's the most conscious, ethical bloody thing ever, but he's not. He leads a multi-billion-pound company, and he's
just got a puny guy, isn't he?
That's it.
No,
he just has the
like
vision. Just knows what he wants to do, and I guess like who's a leader?
The guy's a genius.
Yeah. Like even Theresa May, like not that I particularly agree with a lot of stuff she's doing at the moment.
But if you look at it, not many people are following her though, because she doesn't come across as charismatic. I don't think. But you've got to have some sort of charisma about you.
For sure.
You've got to have some sort of way of thinking that people want to adopt. So like you've got to create an experience of being in people's presence. So like when you're in their presence, people are like, whoa, I've never really met a guy like him, and I want to be around him more.
For sure. I think a lot of it's to do with energy as well.
Oh yeah.
Like the energy you radiate off.
100%, like an aura. It's like what sort of aura you give off, basically.
Yeah, totally.
How do you define an aura? How would you define somebody's aura? What's it physically, or how they come across, how they speak? I find it the eyes. You look into somebody's eyes when they're speaking about something they care about. You can tell.
And you can tell.
It's like their pupils dilated. And you're like, whoa, this guy means business.
Yeah, it's like the idea of when we talk about responsibility. When that word comes up, man, people's eyes open up, people light up, man. I think like there are certain things which I think charisma and aura. I think charisma's cool, and I believe in charisma. I think charisma's awesome, but charisma has to be. It shouldn't. I don't think it's a forced process. I think it's just you being who you are and knowing where you're going and trying to be a good person along the way. I think that ticks. I think that's probably how you gain a bit of charisma. It's like knowing who you are, knowing where you want to go, and wanting to be a good team player and help people around you during the process. So I feel like a lot of the time, man, some of the biggest problems we find is people wanting to get it their way, and they don't care what they're going to do, but they're going to get it. And sometimes I think
like that narcissistic.
Slightly, yeah, and like
a bit psychopath, like in a way, also, you know, they'll step on people to get where they want them, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And I think like, I think there's merit in it, man. I think there's value in it, but at the same time, I just think it's like maybe an antiquated way of thinking, and probably I think humans are evolving past that. And I think we live in a time which is so prosperous that we don't need to compete so viciously like we used to. Not that we do in society. Society tends to be pretty like open now, and I think this next 100 years is going to be a lot more collaborative.
I don't know, if you go into some of the biggest boardrooms in the UK and you go to like these big companies, there are probably people you will find those people who are
yeah, for sure, man.
They will step on you
to get what they want, man. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The Selfish Gene.
Okay, cool.
Have you heard of that?
No.
Mad book, bro.
I probably have that in me somewhere. I think we're all selfish. I'm selfish. I love being selfish, but I'm selfish, selfless. You know. I don't know. I try to get the balance, sort of.
Bro, do you know what? I think, you know, I try not to be selfish, but then I think, you know, obviously everybody has their mistakes, and everybody has times where they, you know, they do things they shouldn't be doing, really, or they do things and say things they shouldn't have done, and they haven't thought about other people when they've done an action. I think.
I love this song. If you guys can hear it. Just saying.
Oh yeah. But yeah, going back to what we were saying about God, though, it's just like I think that's what sort of helped me to be, or try and be less selfish in that way, in that respect. Like, you know, just like we said earlier, just being more like caring of other people, really.
Yeah, because I think when you are a bit more caring of people, I think
like genuinely care.
Yeah, and genuinely care. Like
people
I think
important. Like
yeah, man. I think there's so much power in the individual, bro. Regardless of who you are, I feel like the individual's capable of a lot, and it's about treating people like individuals and not treating them just like an object or a person or something, you know. And it's like
take a genuine interest, as Dale Carnegie says.
That's it, man. Genuine interest.
Have you read that book?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
I got onto it, man. I got into a few chapters of it, and I didn't really carry it on, to be honest.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Didn't feel its significance?
Nah, it was alright. I was just reading it, and I was in the library.
It is an old book. It's quite dated.
No. I know. It's probably something I'm going to read, man. It's probably something I should get reading
I would
again.
recommend.
Yeah, man. I've read a book called The Courage to Be Disliked.
Oh, is
That's
it?
a good book.
What's that then?
So the idea behind the book's basically that everything's an interpersonal problem, and so every problem we tend to face tends to be because of someone else, in a certain sense, or maybe because of yourself. Sometimes
someone's put that fear in you.
yeah, like a problem exists because you have a problem with something, but that something exists because of that person. But a lot of the times, to solve a lot of the problems, you have to go to the root source, which is just other people. And sometimes, if you know how to like how to maneuver or how to like make the system in which you guys operate in better or more productive, then if you go straight to the person and you have a genuine interest in the system and the people, then you can actually do pretty cool things.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
That sounds like a mad book.
Yeah, man, read it, bro. It's a really good book.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys, if you haven't.
Do you know what? I picked up another book as well the other day. I basically got this client who brings me a book every time I cut his hair.
Mm-hmm.
He brings me a new book.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, he's brought me some incredible books. I try and solidify like a book a week if I can.
Yeah.
I try and read something.
That's good, bro. Yeah.
Obviously, you have your weeks where you're busy and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
man.
But,
yeah.
I'm reading a
It's good. It's good you slay dragons whilst reading books.
Oh, bro, it's changed my life. Reading
No, I mean
books.
it's good you read books. That's amazing. But you also do stuff as well. So I know
Yeah.
so many people who just read books, but they're so heady and they don't do nothing.
Oh, me?
No, not you.
Oh,
no, but just like a no. I'm sending shots in this. Yeah, Tom.
Stop roasting each other now.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no.
I never liked you. Joking. Joking. Yeah.
But I was. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that was it. The book. So yeah, I was reading a book recently called The Wealth of Man, or it's called something like The Road to Riches. Is it The Road to Riches or The Wealth of Man?
Right. Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was by. The cover is just like this old guy sitting on a big block of gold.
Alright. Wow.
And he basically it looks at like what would be evolution, because even though I'm religious, I still think to myself like I'm still going to read stuff, I'm still going to educate myself on what other people's theories are.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good. I've actually written a blog recently, and it's this idea of the echo chamber. So like when we fit into like a view of the world, and like religious people tend to be,
just get out my face.
no, like nothing else matters.
Yeah.
My way's the only way, and I'm going to go all in on this, and I don't believe in anything else. It's like why you see people on the street trying to pass around their religious scriptures, arguing with each other about which one works.
I believe that there's. I believe my what I believe is upon the truth. Like, I believe Islam.
Yeah,
but
truth.
There's no way I wouldn't cancel. Like, I still want to read other things. You know what I mean? I still want to see other people's theories, because you know, as much as I don't believe it, I still want to understand it.
Right.
Because I can find error, or I can, like, you know, that's why they did that. Or, you know? But the book basically starts from Homo sapiens, and works all the way, you know, or starts from like Homo sapiens, like right back from when they believe we were from apes or whatever, and you know how we've evolved, and like, you know, how basically currency has come into that, and like language, and like who introduced language and paintings, and like you know, scriptures, and it basically goes on to like the economics from when we basically became, like, how people would trade stuff, and like people used to trade tools for animals.
Sure.
They're interesting, bro. Well, it's an interesting theory anyways.
It sounds fascinating. I think like one of the big things I wanted to come on and talk about today was the idea of community. Like, you're talking about like where we come from, our past. Like in our past, we used to live in tribes, and the tribes used to be of like 150 people maximum usually. And like now we live in these big societies where we're all so broken up in our own kind of ways and beings alive that we sort of navigate in our own tribes. So you're the type of people you hang out with, and the type of person you think you are, and the type of person you think you enjoy, you'll tend to hang around with people like that. That's your own individual tribe. And I think a lot of the time, the problems we find in society is that we're so tribalised with our own tribes that we're not actually coming together and building a holistic community. And I think to do that requires listening to understand, it requires conversation, and it requires effort, a lot of effort. And I hope, that's what a lot of marketers analyse to be like the futures of companies. Like, companies build communities. They don't just focus on just a service, they focus on people relentlessly. And that's like, I guess, like a marketing prediction. I'm saying it right here, right now. I'm going to save this podcast, hopefully I can play it back in like 5 years. I genuinely think some of the biggest companies that don't adopt a community mindset, or don't adopt a mindset which empowers the person that they're serving.
So that doesn't adopt like a specific client, essentially, for a
not
business.
Providing a platform for people. But obviously, like, it varies.
To make it more general for everybody.
Not really. It's more like you're serving the type of person you serve.
Yeah.
But
So
you want
like,
to.
what is that person?
Who is that person?
Okay.
What do they like? What don't they like? what their fears, what literally every single thing about them, and dance with them, dance with their reality, but make a platform to improve their life as well. You know,
Well,
it's
makes sense. It does make
like
sense.
you really got to do a psychoanalysis of the person you're going to be serving, and then the whole customer experience is built around that, man.
Wow.
That's how like we're marketed and advertised to, and it just happens so unconsciously we don't even realize it. Like I do marketing and advertising, I know how we are, like how we communicate to, and it like the idea we get is it's manipulative. I don't think it is. I think it's exactly what we want. You give people what they want, otherwise people wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's like, what are you going to do? Give it to them or not?
100%.
So someone's got to serve something. We've got to provide some form of value. So why not give people what they want? But then give people what they want, but try help them out as well, wherever they are, to maybe gain a new mindset, make it better for them, or improve their lives.
Is your plan to like, so in terms of marketing and stuff like that, because obviously that's something you're quite passionate about, very passionate.
For the good though, for like genuine societal good, and improving the net, the net benefit for society will improve. Like society will become a better place because of like marketing and advertising. Like that's what I'm focused on, rather than just I'm going to sell you a can of beans and condoms and vodka. You know, like I do sort of.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. So like you're marketing a better world basically.
Pretty much. Not just like I think marketing and advertising.
We change the world, Pete.
Yeah, we're trying one step at a time, man. Let's get it. Yeah, we'll change the world. I'm checking that one step at a time.
No, hopefully, bro. At the end of the day, like,
that's what you got to try.
You got to think like that. Otherwise, if you don't think like that, then nothing's going to come of it.
Yeah. Do you know what I think? Gosh, this is gonna sound so like cocky and pretentious. Like not even like. I think
that's a misconception. I think like you need to just think about whatever you think and in your head, and you know, like you're not trying to be cocky, but you might sound cocky to some narrow-minded people.
I think the meaning of life is to like bring back positive, like improve the world. I think that is genuinely like in whatever capacity you can, whatever you enjoy doing. I think that's what it really boils down to. And when you lose yourself in serving others, man, it's just like it's flow. You don't think, you're just doing it. I mean, it varies for everyone. Like I guess that's my temperament and my personality. But then I've actually read a lot into like Maps of Meaning, which is like it's a book made by Jordan Peterson. I really suggest reading it. And it's like meaning is defined by actually giving, and like creating like the RAS, creating a frame around it, who you are, figuring that out. So it goes quite deep. I'm gonna make a lot of content on this, man. I'm gonna make a whole series on this, man, for people to read. That's my plan, man. So see what people think. Like, sorry.
I bet if you, sorry, bro. I bet if you like sort of like, as a business owner or somebody trying to start a business, I bet if you gave so much free stuff out, or in fact, forget business. I bet if you were just a person who just gave out so much free stuff and didn't expect anything back, like at first that would be so hard to do because in your mind you'd be thinking, I'm giving all this free stuff out and I'm losing.
That's scarcity, man. You're thinking in a very scarce way when you do that.
But I bet deep down, I bet within a few weeks of you like forgetting about that sort of need for I need this, or I can't be giving too much of this away. After a while, I bet the relationships you would build with people would be insane. Yeah,
for sure, man. And you'd get so many opportunities. People would open doors you would never even think could be opened. And before you know it, you'd be getting paid so much. Like people would be giving you money.
Yeah, people want to give you stuff.
You get money, recognition, influence, leadership. You literally. You'd have it all in a sense. Like you know, like. Yeah, man, it's like, when people think of entrepreneurs, they think of like the cars and the girls and the watches, like
Battles, beat.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And like that's cool, have that, man. But like it's all about the giving.
That's cool anymore.
I don't think that's cool. I've never thought it's cool. I think if ever I do come into money, I don't think I'd be the type of guy who would drive around in a supercar. Although if I was in Monaco, I'd probably get a Ferrari because driving that like that. I think like in general, I'd rather people not know. I'd rather just go about my own business. Do you know what I mean? And like
when I was like 15, bro, 16, I didn't expect how I thought running a business would be now. I thought it'd be popping bottles now and stuff because that was my situation when I was 16. I was like, do you know what? I want to go out. I want to just enjoy it. I got my own shop. Yes, look at me. Like that was my mindset.
I was like that. Like a bit. I was like that.
My mindset was like that when I was like 15, 16. I was like, I can't wait to have a business. I wanted to be flashy as possible. I wanted to be so flashy.
Yeah, man.
And that's honest.
Yeah, I don't think. It depends, but I just don't think flashing is like sustainable in the long run. But then like, bro, you can do it. Like, I'm not, who the hell am I to judge? Do what you want, enjoy your life, man. If you're working hard and you want to pop a couple bottles and get a couple supermodels and I don't know, buy a Lamborghini, which is like made with diamond encrustments and fucking golden toilet paper, do your thing, man. But
I feel like it's like that rapper look, innit? People want that rap.
Yeah. I think the problem with that is like when you like when you have all this, but then you
they get it for free.
You treat other people like shit.
Yeah, you do.
No, I'm not saying you do, but I think when people have all these things and then treat people like shit, that's not cool, man. Do you know what I mean?
You become like you think you're like a bit of a god complex.
Yeah. You think you're God. Although I think we are God. I think we're not. I think both. I think a bit of a mix.
What do you mean, bro? That's mad.
I think we're God. I think we're God, but God's a lot. God's not us.
I'm not too interested to explain that theory. I'd love to hear it.
So the idea is basically everything around us is like super experiential. We can't really explain anything, like the metaphysics, like around the room, how we're experiencing it, everything like that, right? But this is something I need to look in more to.
Yeah, of course.
And actually, I should be very careful saying things like this. Just drop in comments because, like, because like I don't have anything to really justify it. But
no, but it's just explain the theory as in, like, so what you know so far, because there are people out there who are very, very lost at the moment in our society, which we'll go on to later. But it'd be good for other people to, because there's probably people out there who want to ask questions and want to, so I want to know why I'm experiencing this, and I want to know the theory, so explain that.
So we have like this idea of God being this like big man in the clouds, for example. That's like the most thing. It's like he's omnipresent, he's caring, he's relentlessly loving, he's free, he's spiritual, he's peaceful, he's benevolent. He loves the world, but he can also put bad in the world. He could do both. He could do everything. Like God, literally, he operates on every single capacity, right? And I think there is that divine potential in all of us to be like that. But obviously, that's something we all continuously work towards because that's what keeps society functioning. And I think the idea is when we embrace who God is and we actually accept God in our life, we like embody what God stands for. Like we follow God. But the reason we follow God is because God's a certain way. In my first theory, I'm definitely not trained on to speak on this. There are people who literally devote their whole lives to this, so take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, I think when we really embody God and really love God for like who He is, then like our lives can be. Who knows what this world could be like, man? And I think that's when like people disregard God. I think they disregard the old man in the sky. But I think when we can understand it a bit more and actually look into it, then you realise that we're not disregarding God, we're disregarding ourselves.
Yeah, you're very right, bro. You are very right.
And when enough people disregard themselves and don't take them seriously, society will be hell. It'll be hell on earth. And I don't think we're leading towards that. I think we're leading to the complete opposite. I genuinely believe it's going to be the most prosperous time in the next 100 years. We've got access to more information than ever before. People are sharing ideas more than ever. Like, education's getting better. I think education's such a big part. But I also think technology is improving. I think the businesses are becoming a lot more ethical. Consumers are becoming a lot more concerning, so they're asking businesses big questions. And I think businesses are going to be huge in solving real-world problems. And who knows, man? Elon Musk is trying to make us multi-planetary, man. You're going to be living on Mars in 50 years, bro.
That guy's a genius, bro. I watch his podcast with Joe Rogan. I think it's mind-blowing.
He seems
the guy just inspires me, but he's also, if you look at him, he's very, like, he's a peculiar guy.
Yeah.
You can't, there's something about him, his way of thinking is, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
He's very, I don't know, the way he thinks, he's just very it's like he's in his own little bubble in his head, and like no one else can be like in that bubble, when he tries to share it with people, then
it's hard to articulate because he's just so in his bubble of thinking. I mean, there was like, I think Elon Musk is super inspirational, man. He's actually like a hero to me, bro. Like I look at Elon Musk and he's one of my actual heroes, man. Not an idol, but he's a hero.
Do you think he worked to get that good?
What?
In terms of like, do you think he worked to get that sort of mindset?
Oh,
definitely.
Or
do you think he sort of naturally is like that anyways?
I think that like, I think he has some natural competencies which like lean towards being more curious and, let's say, industrious. Like, there's 5 key personality traits. He's probably a lot more industrious. He's probably open-minded. He's high in openness, high in industriousness. Probably slightly a bit more on the creative edge as well. So you've probably got natural creative things. So I'd probably say he's probably high in them 3 traits, and it's probably something like that's born in his temperament. So like that's his original temperament. So he was young and he kind of like worked towards it, but when he worked so hard, he really tapped into that potential. And now he's doing this.
Wow.
And I think, man, imagine a world where people let go of themselves and they actually just focused on doing cool shit like this. Yeah, not you have to like launch a rocket into Mars, but like.
Money in that, bro. I think the money situation's mad.
But money's awesome because money could do so much good. But I think chasing money just for money is terrible.
I think it's just about being not even the best at what you do. I just think it's like, because if you put enough work in, you will actually get to the point where you earn enough money to, you know, okay, whether you want to earn 50k a year, okay, you'll work towards that 50k a year work rate. But like, if you just strive and think, right, I'm just going to smash it now, I just want to just get the most out of this, I'm just going to go with it and see where it goes, and I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah, man.
You know, you never know how far it's going to take you.
Yeah, man, I think sometimes we get, like, so locked into the mindset that, like, I've got to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Like, and bro, I'll be open, man.
Sure.
This is me. I used to be like this a lot, man. Like, I wanted to figure out the whole plot, how I was going to do it, the strategy, what's going to be in place, who's going to help me, what, like, everything in my mind before I've even taken a step forward.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of the time it's just about moving forward and figuring it out as you go along.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? And I think when you do it that way, you're on your optimal kind of performance level. You are, like, improving. And I think we're inherently
leaning in.
Yeah, you're leaning in. You're on your edge. You're actually living. It's like Wake Up and Live. It's a book by that.
100%.
Exactly, and that's amazing, bro. And you keep going for it, man.
I think that's how I feel now.
And keep expanding your edge, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I feel like I'm living at the moment. Because I feel like I'm playing Jenga with my business.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the structure's there, but if certain things were to slide and stuff like that, I'd have to have, obviously I've got plan A's and plan B's and plan C's and stuff like that. But it's like building it and being, you know, and being steady about building it.
Yeah,
just making sure you're the right bricks in the right places.
Yeah, I think you still have to. There has to be like an element of like being pragmatic.
It is a massive risk.
I think that's an interesting thing about business. It's like business.
I am taking a massive risk.
It's like there's like risk management, and it's like an idea. So you got to manage how much risk you're taking, and like and I think a lot of the times like people start companies and they think, well, I'm just gonna throw 100k into this, man, and I'm gonna go out and not even research. I'm just gonna make this, and people are gonna buy it. It's like
research is key.
Good luck. Do you know what I mean? Like
development and then marketing, making sure you market the business properly.
Yeah, research, product development, marketing, and see that cycle continuously improve. And then the finances you have, invest it slowly to keep the improvement going. And then, because the thing is, bro, you never know when your break's going to come. You may have an investor roll for you who's been barbering for 30 years, who loves, like, hair, and he's actually passionate about the industry and cares about you. It's like, hey, man, I'm a really big deal. Here's £5 million. I'm going to get you all across the country. I'm going to take you every trade show with me, bro. You're a cool guy, man. Hey, and I'm going to, like, you know, I'm going to really take your business to the next level. Of course. Of course, especially with the internet, man. The internet has changed the game in that sense. If you got a good enough idea and you can articulate and show it and show you got a model and you keep working towards it, bro, like, people will actually invest in you, man. Because they're people, older people, like, everyone goes, oh gosh, the 1%, man. All these guys, you know, oh, these fucking 1%ers, man. They're all just dicks, man, aren't they? Oh, fuck the 1%. The 1% want to give their money away. They're investors. Yeah. Like, honestly, if you
smash it.
If you, yeah, 1% genuinely want to help a lot of them. You know, not all of them, but no, I'm guessing. Yeah,
something I've been working on for a few years, actually.
Alright, well, I've got a marketing advertising agency now, so if you'd like any help, man, I'd be more than happy to help you and anybody else on here, man. So I'll have all my details put in as well.
But yeah, I've been working on something for a while now. I think you'll be ready to drop in like a good year. Right. And I think it's revolutionary in my field, in my industry.
Awesome. That's amazing, bro. It's cool, man. Basically, bro, I work with incubators and accelerators for startups. So these are people who like help grow your business, help get you like mentorships, help get everything you need. So we could discuss this, and also if anybody's interested in like maybe jumping on an accelerator or incubator program for a company I work for called the Big Youth Group. It's one of the services we provide. We work in partnership with a lot of really big companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and just hit me up. I'll be more than happy to look at what you guys send over. I think the main thing, like, I don't want to just be like a voice behind a screen. Like, you can like actually message me. Do you know what I mean? Not that I'm saying I'm going to be your best friend. I don't know you, but like you can message me and I'll be considerate about what you're doing. Yeah, man. I think, bro, imagine a world where everyone was just approachable.
Yeah, it'd be much easier. I think the worst is when you get somebody who's got like 100k followers. I speak to people with like 200k followers on Instagram, and stuff like that. If they can reply to me, I'm sure somebody with 15k can.
Yeah, man.
Like, there's people out there who just won't reply to you and stuff like that. Ignorant people. I can't be bothered, to be honest. Just reply to people.
Yeah, man.
Well, I bet there's people with 1 million followers who could probably still reply to me.
Gary V. He's a perfect, but then Gary V's whole thing is like,
he's a boss.
He's just a boss,
yeah,
Gary V, man.
Gary
V up in the office.
I like the way he moves, bro. I think he's a sick guy.
Man, I want to meet that guy one day.
Yeah. When I went to see him live, he was incredible.
We should go on this podcast, man. We should do an application, shouldn't we?
Imagine,
2 boys from Cardiff getting on
Yeah.
the podcast. Maybe bad.
Shut him down.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, I actually think there's some.
Yeah.
Just
You're
the one
right.
person who
Yeah.
shuts him down.
Yeah,
Now he's raw on
yeah.
everyone. We just be
Sit
so
down.
raw on it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
I listen, you American man. You're gonna hear it from the British lad. The New York Jets are shit. Just walk off the show. He's like, fuck. Yo, D-Rock, get these fucking guys out of my
I'm gonna buy
office.
the Jets, not you.
Oh, yeah, what? I just placed the bid, bro. Yeah. Nah, Gary's cool, man. Gary's cool.
When I saw him live, bro, I left there with an energy like I've never felt before in my life.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. It sounds like mad. Probably because I was like sweating out as well because it'd been in the room all day.
Do you know what I think, like, the biggest thing is, man? Is how little encouragement people actually need. Honestly, bro,
I
just,
I ran through London, ran through Bank, bro. I was gassed. I was like running back to my hotel. I was like, yes, I'm gonna smash it. I'm gonna take my business to the next level. Like,
man said he was running, you know. The bus came by, like, fuck that, I'm running. Let's get it, gang.
bro, I ran past. I was running faster than cars. Well, it's not hard in London, but I was just belting. Bro, I belted there. I was walking through, belting it through Bank. I got back to my hotel, stripped my bag off, slammed my bag, got my laptop out. I was like, bang, started working. I was just like, yes. It lasted about a week.
Nah, bro.
No, it was, no, but it's just like. You can't have that. Like anyone who's got that level of energy all the time is like a superhuman. It's hard to maintain that level.
Yeah. Well, I completely disagree. Like, no, I know. Wait. No, I agree with you.
It is hard, bro.
It's like, no, it usually happens when you get really inspired. You work so hard, but you burn out.
Yeah.
There's a book by Robert Greene called Mastery, and
time management's key.
Yeah, time management. Figure out your time.
I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to. I was thinking about getting an app so I could like manage my day like in 15, like 20-minute, half hour.
What's good?
Hour sections and stuff like that, and just so I got more.
I got a little planner, so it's See the Good, and it's a little. Some girl got it for me on my course. Shout out Denisa. She bought it for me for my birthday. Yeah, exactly, man. I love you. I'm joking. She bought it for me, mate. And then basically you just fill out your day, man. The morning, afternoon, evening, your goals for the day. I think goal setting for the day and for the week, it sets you up.
Eggs, avocado.
I know, man. You can get really nitty picky about it.
Trust.
Who for the room?
Yeah, that's it.
Make sure you lock the door.
Yeah.
Like,
It becomes obsessive.
Pray to God, clean the car.
Yeah.
Fuck the bitch. I'm joking. I'm joking, girls. I don't.
This is meant to be a no swearing podcast.
Oh damn! I'm sorry.
Nah, that's alright.
We'll beep this out, won't we?
Yeah.
So
how
now.
did you beep it out, bro?
I don't know, bro. I did a podcast.
I just interlude it every time you say it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we're taking a break.
Yeah, again.
Hello, welcome back to the podcast.
But yeah, 100%, bro, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
I wanted you to tell me actually, like what your average day is like and what you actually do in like a week or a month and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, because it's good to get certain insights of what a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Because nobody actually knows what somebody who's trying to start a business does. A lot of people just see it as, well, they just work in their business. So I want you to tell me your day, and I want to see the comparisons in our days.
Well, to be honest, man, I usually wake up. I choose between 6 watches I want to wear. I usually pick the Rolex.
What time do you wake up?
Probably like 5 a.m. I'm an entrepreneur, man.
You were 5
No, this is all a joke. I just wanted to go on with a joke. And then, I sleep with my super wild wife. She's much taller than me, but it's cool. She's Russian. She doesn't know how to speak, but she loves my money. And then, have you seen like Jordan Belfort? You know, he walks out his mansion and he's like talking to everyone. No, I'm joking. You want to know my actual day?
Yeah, go on.
I wake up about 9 or 10 usually. Really? I try to wake because I like my sleep. I need my 8 hours, man. Straight up, like I'm not gonna risk that. And I just go to a studio, go to a university, or go to a coffee store, sit down with my laptop, all day. And then if I'm working, I go on meetings, all day, every day, every day. And then like maybe once a week, I'll go out with my friends or do a little something.
Wow.
Like now and then. But it's like I love what I do, and like I do enjoy it. But I've been doing this for like 5 years now, man.
Crazy, bro.
Like literally 5 straight years, man. Like I haven't been on holiday for 2 years. I've turned down like 4 holidays to go on just because I've wanted to work. But then that's like me just being.
Coffee shops as well.
Oh yeah, I always
They're
go
quite
coffee shops.
inspiring coffee shops. I like the music they play, like that chill hop jazz.
Yeah, man. Oh, bro, you'd be surprised. Not many coffee stores actually play that, man. Yeah, the coffee stores really need to improve their music game, man. Especially Starbucks, man.
I need to make a playlist for coffee shops and sell it.
Oh, 100%, bro. Because Starbucks.
Build chill.
That's a fucking brilliant idea, actually. Okay, we're gonna beep this part out. 'Cause it's a business idea, but like, no, seriously, it's a really good idea. I might actually start selling some tracks to coffee stores. That is a brilliant idea. That's an insight. I'm gonna write that down after. I got music producers. Oh,
I think I don't know.
Thanks for that. I'll get a patent on it, so you can't get anything on it. Yeah, I'll take it to the patent office, make it mine. But no, I'm joking. We can we'll work something out. No, for both of us. 50-50, man. Yeah, we'll work. No, we will work this out. I'm being serious, man. I'm not even joking. I'm thinking of how to pitch these people, how to like, yeah, 100%. Awesome.
No, we actually will.
Yes. No, I'm like, yeah.
But
okay.
do you want to know my week is?
Yeah, go
on. Work in the salon.
Yeah.
Cut hair. But in between clients, I read or I promote my business online.
Oh, I do a lot of reading as well. And I go gym.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I don't really go gym. I should go gym.
Should, man. 100%.
Yeah, it's good for you. But what I do is my week is just in the salon because I'm working my home salon and then I'm working between 2 different stores. So I'm managing that online, managing the boys. I spend a lot of time actually promoting my business online and reading. When I go upstairs in the nights, then that gives me my few hours then to write my stuff about the project that I've got on the go, which I can't really talk too much about.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
we'll talk about it after. Be interested. Or is it not like completely off the grids?
I'll
sign an NDA.
Yeah, we should do an idea contract. No, it is. In all fairness,
you should. Do an NDA, man. It keeps your idea safe. If you really think it's that good, get an NDA. It's a non-disclosure agreement. So when you bring it up in front of people, they cannot share it with anyone. It's like
what happens if they do?
You could literally sue them. Yeah, you could take them to court, and like if they can't steal your idea, they go straight back to you. It's like getting a patent almost.
Wow.
I mean, I'm assuming that's how it works. A lot of people do it. So NDAs protect your idea.
But
so check that
anyways,
out.
This idea that I got, if I'm not doing that, I'm doing that, or if I'm not doing that, then I go to like lectures on religion, or
love it.
I meet a couple of mates, and I started spending a lot of time with family recently.
That's good, bro.
I try an hour a day for my mum and dad.
Yeah, man. Like my family situation is a bit crazy at the moment. Not that I want to go into it.
That's my week, basically, just in the salon promoting. In all fairness, my mind doesn't really stop, so I'll have like 6 hours sleep, and then I'm just back up then.
Yeah, let's beep that part out. Actually, I talk about my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't man.
Okay,
oh wait, I don't. Oh fuck it, who cares?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. But
like I have family situations. Like I used to have family situations when I was younger, where I was horrible to my parents.
Yeah, man. Oh, bro, I was horrible to my mum growing up, man. It was really bad, man. I look back at it, it's such shame.
I think to myself, but then I think to myself, it's maybe the person I am now. And
yeah, exactly.
Like, I think becoming closer to God's helped that, and like certain situations of just adolescence.
Yeah, I used to be really like not nice to my mum, but now I love my mum like relentlessly. Like I love my mum.
I don't know if this is a mental, going on to like a mental.
I think it was puberty as well. I think just growing up, I was just a bit of a dick.
And I think so, and I think what happens is like when you're growing up, you feel your parents as a bit of an annoyance.
Yeah.
In some situations.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like
it stops your own development.
It's an annoyance because you feel like you want your own space, and then like your parents are there like, oh, how's your day being? You're like, get out of my room.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck off, mum.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
I'm jerking off. I'm playing Halo 3. Fuck off.
Oh no. But yeah.
Hey, mum, I'm hungry. Can I get some food?
Yeah, I said.
Can we get McDonald's?
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner, ma?
But you feel them as a bit of annoyance, especially in our society. Like people are growing up with their phones and this and that, and other importances. Yeah. There's nothing more important than your parents.
No, there isn't. Man.
Charity starts at home, so start spending time with your parents, even if that's like complimenting your mum or
the gates of heaven are underneath your parents' feet, or something like that.
But that's why I started spending more time with them now. But I used to think of them as an annoyance, and I know they're not an annoyance, and I don't know why I used to think like that. But I think I was so young. And I've tried to snap out with that quick time because it was a bad way of looking at things. And the boys in the salon actually say to me, "Oh, I'm not getting on with my dad. I'm not so okay. Why is that?" And he goes, "I don't know. I just haven't got a close relationship." And I was like, "Well, okay. So why is that?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. They just a bit of an annoyance." And I was like, "Bro, at the end of the day, if you understood the hardship your parents have gone through to look after you, help you, be there for you,
9 months in the belly, setting everything up around you to make sure you actually live in the world." Trying to teach you how to be good in the world. Do you know what I mean? They do a lot for you, man.
9 months in the belly. Do you understand?
Bro, imagine that. There's an advertising campaign, and it's like, what if it was you that got pregnant, and there's a guy like holding his belly, like he was pregnant. But like, imagine that. I don't think we really contemplate it as guys, but imagine actually having a child inside of you. Bro, that's intense, bro.
Yeah, it is.
That is intense, bro. So I think like, yeah, man. I think women should deserve a bit more credit.
Yeah, shout out
to the women, man. # feminism. # hit me up on the DMs. We can make this happen. Let's go for a drink. We'll talk about feminism all night. Joking. I'll stop drinking.
But yeah, it's.
I tried to stop. I'm stopping soon. Drinking.
Really?
It's not good, man.
Yeah. Do you know I've been sober now for 6 months.
Bro, it's amazing. What's it like?
I say this on. I think I swear I'd say this on every podcast. Sorry if I say this on every podcast, but it is the most refreshing feeling. I feel absolutely revitalised. As much as I still have days where I'm like up and down, but I think that's just because of the situation I'm in, being young, business, whatever, and managing people. But
how did you go about getting sober, man? Like completely teetotal sober, because that's my goal, man. I want to get. I'm gonna hit. Today, man. Today's the day.
I was quite hard on drugs, to be fair, when I was younger, and I was quite hard on drinking and stuff like that. And I just sort of, I was. At the time, I was like drinking heavily. I was, in all fairness, I was taking like other drugs and stuff that I sort of regret. And I woke up one day. Obviously, I knew I'd been studying the Quran and stuff. And I wasn't sure 100% what the truth was. And I thought, you know what? I'm just done with this whole like going out trying to chat birds up, saying like the usual conversation.
Oh, bro, yeah, 100%.
It was just normal bull.
100%, man.
Bull.
Bro, like I think sometimes I think like I love girls, but chasing them's not good, man. Really, it's not good, man. I feel like
it just really, it just got to the point where I was just like, I was chasing something which was just wasn't satisfying me anymore, and I thought, right, I need to change my life. Obviously, found God, and I think through that and like my own personal, like I'm fed up with this life. I just switched up basically.
Hey, ask me to give a piece of advice to the audience. Ask me a specific question, and I'll try and answer it to my best extent now. So I know that just deviated, and I agree with everything you're saying. I want to like.
In terms of so
what do you think? What's important to your podcast? What's important to your listeners? What do you think is valuable to them? And let me answer a question on that, like deep questions. So I can leave something we could actually maybe like write down. I could create a blog about it. I could be a contributor maybe to your website or something like that.
In terms of
something.
In terms of what I do in terms of what I do for this podcast and what I try to do with the listeners is I try to say 3 goals: one for business, one for mind, and then one for something else. Do you know what I mean? Something else being just everyday life or how they can live their life better and stuff. So if you had to give a goal for business or vision, a goal for mental health, and a goal for personal like development as a person, like in terms of like physical living your life,
right.
I want you to give a goal of one of each thing, and I want you to explain why you've chosen those 3 things,
right, cool.
And then finally a book recommendation.
Cool. Alright, cool. So if you want to start a business, which I don't think is for everyone, I think like having a business it's a lot of responsibility, and I think we're all capable of taking on the responsibility. I think everyone could be a business owner, and I think adopting an entrepreneurial mindset will always serve you well. And the entrepreneurial mindset is basically giving back. So if I was to say one business goal or one business goal or one focus for business, know who you're serving, know why you're serving them, and know why you do what you do. Know your why. It's the fuel that will keep you going forever. It's like at the end of the day, a lot of people drop out of businesses, and most startups fail because they don't really have a strong why, or like startups fail for a number of reasons. There's in business there's different departments. So you have finance, marketing, advertising, product development. Everything matters. Everything's just as important as each other. But when you have a vision and an understanding of why, it's easier to correlate them all together. The process becomes seamless in a sense because you know where you're going. Whereas if you're just trying to sell something just for the sake of selling it, good luck, man, because it's confusing to operate everything on. Do you know what I mean? So know why, know the vision, and then the whole business operations will become a lot more enjoyable. You'll find fun in it. Know the why, because everything becomes a lot more enjoyable when you know the why.
What about mental health?
Mental health.
Think like a thought process, basically. Like, how would you think about?
How would I think about something? One of the biggest things which I take on is like learn. I'd say is the big one. Like learn from other people. I always assume someone knows something you don't, and know that things always get better. You have your bad days, you have your good days. One day you're gonna feel great, one day you're not gonna feel so great. But do you know what the big thing is? Moving forward anyway. Even if you're not feeling good, you get up and you go. You know, like if you're not feeling good, don't sit in bed all day watching Netflix and dwelling. That shit's just gonna make you feel so much worse. Get up, go for a walk, read a book, go get a coffee, sit by yourself, spend some time by yourself. But the most important thing I think with mental health, self-reflection, I think the most important thing with mental health is I think we all have our ups and downs. I guess we all have like these I don't like the word mental health. I think it has a stigma around it in a sense. I think it's moving forward anyway. Always move forward. Never let your feelings stop you or how you think. Always move forward, because when you move forward, you'll always get to the end of the tunnel. It'll always be light. But when you don't move forward and you just stay there, you'll slip backwards.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
What about in terms of like physically then? Like so, like in terms of how you live your life, like eating, diet, anything like that.
In terms of eating and
or even
diet.
sleeping. I think sleeping, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I mean my sleep pattern's a bit weird, so I don't think I'm the best to comment on that. In terms of eating, my diet isn't great. Go to the gym, work out, exercise. I think exercise is great. It keeps your body functioning. I think we're in this body and we're in this mind. Like
you only get one as well.
You only have one. You're not getting another one. Operate to the best you can in it. And like the thing is, man, like there may be someone who's like really fat, not like morbidly obese, listening to this. Bro, you gotta get up and go. Like honestly, you should never ever motherfucking ever let your situation, how you're feeling about yourself or how you think about yourself, stop you from moving forward. Gosh, it's everything, man. It's moving forward and being brave about it. You know, when you go into the unknown and you do new things, don't go in, because a lot of people hold back. They're doing it whilst holding back, so they're a bit, associate you moving forward with bravery. You're being brave. See yourself as being brave, because that's associated with positive emotions. When you think yourself as being brave and taking it on as a challenge, when you take things on as a challenge, it's associated with positive emotions, because then the challenge works out usually, or if it doesn't, you learn something. But I always say it's a challenge and always move forward regardless of what happens. Failure, that's why I say there's no such thing as failure. It's all about learning, because you're moving forward anyway.
Exactly.
People who stop and they fail and they give up, yeah, of course it's failure, because you gave up.
Taking a step to the side's okay sometimes.
Exactly, yeah, but
just do not go backwards.
Yeah, but just don't go. No, yeah, I mean, I can't step to the side. I'm always going to be moving forward. I can't just stop. Like even
you gotta, I get. Well, I don't know.
I can sit back and relax. But like in my mind, I'm going to be having a meeting.
Oh yeah, you still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Like,
bang, I like that as well. That's good.
Yeah, I got that off on Instagram quite actually.
One more thing is.
Yeah, can you tell I'm a cocky entrepreneur now? Has it really kicked in? Okay, I wish the best for everyone that's listening, man. On a serious note, man. My genuine intention is like people listen from this, and hopefully it really helps someone in their life, man. I really believe that. I really hope that, man.
So
I'm not even just saying
as well. Like we haven't stopped talking the whole time. We could probably talk for another hour.
I know, probably. I don't want to.
We'll do it again. Then I want to get you back on you.
Yeah,
and we can sit down. We both had good sleep.
For sure, man. Yeah, that's it, man.
One more final thing as well that I want to talk about is book recommendation. I want your best book recommendation.
I read a lot of books, man, so what book's good? Ooh, top, number one. The one that's had the biggest impact in my life, besides the Holy Quran, and like the Bible. I've read the Bible as well, the Bible's interesting. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Read that book. If you're someone who wants to do something in your life and you have a specific career aspiration, get your ego out the bloody way.
Oh yeah.
Get this, like, sometimes you let this idea of who I am stop you from seeing truth. Truth is everything, man. And when your ego's in the way, it just dilutes everything around you, man. 100%. And like, people can usually, well, like, if I'm working with someone who clearly is like, likes themselves a lot and like they like to, it's like, it just stops you from actually getting to the edge of like the best means of production or the best way of operating. Like if you remove your ego, honestly, read Ego's the Enemy, your life will improve tenfold if you take action on it. Tenfold. So much. It's a stoic idea, man. It's really interesting, bro. That's my favourite book, and I've read about, no joke, about 70 books. I've probably watched thousands of hours worth of seminars on YouTube. Bro, read that book. It's so good, man. So good.
Yeah. 100%. Bro, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Bro, it's been a pleasure coming on the show.
Do you know what, as well, like, although we both had a very busy day, and as much as we both had, you know, busy weeks and stuff like that, it's nice to just chat like this as well, because it gets you thinking in a different way. Even myself now gets me thinking in different ways and stuff like that, and it's nice to just, like, hear other people's thought processes and things, and it's been an absolute pleasure, bro, and I'd like to meet with you and have a coffee with you on your own, and we could
talk business, man.
Again. Yeah,
we'll talk business as well, man. We'll figure out a project.
Because
for sure, I want to work on you. I want to work on
the
this
project that I've got.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd love to, even if it's like consultancy or the board, or just give.
I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant, but it is really interesting what I design.
I'll be a critique of it as well, but no, like I'll give you my opinion. You know, I believe you, bro. I think it'll be awesome. Right. Sure, man. All right, well, if cause a little call to action.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, guys. So by the way, I've got a community I'm building called Collective Connect. I'll try to get Tom to add all the details for that. Make sure you check us out on the website. We've got blogs, we've got contributors. We're building up a community. Join our community. Your ideas matter, and we want to share your ideas with the world and build projects around you. All right, this shit is important, guys, for not just for me, but for you, I guess. If you want to like do something in your life, let us help you. Let us like not just help you in a parental weird way, but like let us partner with you. Let us like. Let's collaborate. Let's make something happen. You know? Yeah. So Collective Connect. You're going to add all the details to that, I guess. You can also hit me up on @FarronKhalid on Instagram. I'm also going to leave my email actually. So if you want to email me, I think email is more appropriate because I'll actually respond to your emails, especially if it's more like in-depth queries. If you want to like put a business idea across, I'd be more than happy to help. I remember I got a consultancy, marketing and advertising agency where you focus on business strategy, all the creative different functions. So I can help you with your business development. I'd love to. It'd be an honour. Yeah, call to action, man. Yeah, bro, got to get the sales in, man. You know, if anyone is interested, I'd be more than happy to help out. Anyone, and don't feel like weird about reaching out. You know what? One of the best pieces of advice: always reach out. Always go for the opportunity. 100%. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Take. When you see an opportunity, when you see the opportunity, take it. Even if you fail, at least you took the opportunity. You took your shot. Don't ever. Some people live life not taking shots. 100%. Take shots, man. Be a striker. Score goals. Alright, yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for being on the show, man.
And also, guys, if there's anything you need from myself, any information, the Instagram's Tom Sage Barbering, and the email address is tomsagebarbering@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm sure you'll find another way to get hold of myself. So, thank you very much for listening. And
come get yourself a banging trim.
Exactly, get yourself a banging. Even though Farron does it, he cheats on me all the time.
What?
No, he hasn't. He's yet to come through for a trim.
Oh, brother, got a trim yesterday, man.
I know, disappointing, bro.
Yeah, no, it was pretty disappointing. I should have come through here. I wasn't thinking, man.
Next time.
Sorry,
but thank you very much, anyways.
It will happen.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Cheers.